Welcome to this episode of Down with Daughtry, where I have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Randy Gunter, who is a member of our board, and this is on our series of Board Member Spotlight. Welcome, Dr. Randy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful.
Well, like I said, it truly is a pleasure to sit down with you so I can get to know you a little better, our viewers can get to know you a little better, and
Sure.
just let us know some things about you.
Okay.
Can you
Sure.
tell us a few things about you?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So, born and raised in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
However, I've been in Statesboro for 44 years, but I always say I'm from Augusta.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Gusta's home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came in 1980 to Statesboro to work at Georgia Southern to start a new program there called Upward Bound. And I worked in that capacity for about 15 years. Then I got promoted and advanced until about 2003, still at Georgia Southern. I became Dean of Students
Okay.
and left Georgia Southern in 2003 and went to Savannah State and worked for about 6 years as the Vice President for Student Affairs. Retired in 2008
Mm-hmm.
and then went to Clark, Atlanta after retirement. As a vice president in student affairs and enrollment management, and worked there 2 years. And then I came back home and said, "Okay, I'm done.
You're
We worked."
done.
But I ended up going back one more time. Went back to Savannah State to teach in the graduate program in social work
Okay.
for about 3 years, and in about 2015 or so, I said, "Okay, I'm really retired."
You really retired then,
Yeah.
huh?
So then, since then, I really have been retired.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So, as most people do, they come out of retirement, but it seems like you had great opportunities
Oh,
both
yes.
times.
Yes.
Clark in Atlanta,
Hmm.
and then back to Savannah.
Yeah.
Go Tigers, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
um, so, as far as child advocacy services, when did you first become involved with our program?
Hmm. So, let me go all the way back to my history.
Right.
In my social work background, my first job out of graduate school was directing a child care program.
Oh,
And I did that for 3 years before I came to Statesboro. And so, in the back of my mind, I always had this yearning to go back or give back to young people in their development. And so, about 2017 or so, I saw some advertisement about CASA, and I wasn't familiar with CASA, so I did some reading, and I approached the staff about becoming a volunteer, and just so happened I was able to get in on the next training session, which was probably within the 3 months.
okay.
And so I went through the training, and I became a certified volunteer, and I did have cases up until 2019. And after I saw the end of those cases, I said I'd take a little break from volunteering.
Right.
Well, a little break has turned into a big break. So about that time, I think it was Susie at the time, asked me to consider coming on the board.
Okay.
And so I came on the board about 2021, and I've been a board member since. And I just kind of see all of that as an extension of my core beliefs and values, which is to help young people improve their lives and become better. I enjoyed my time as a volunteer, from going to court to doing home visits, and to connecting families that want children.
Yes.
So that was an invaluable experience for me.
Absolutely. Because I think one of my first memories for you when I came back to child advocacy was an
Yeah.
adoption.
Oh, yes.
One of your cases had reached permanency, and
Yes.
you were able to be there and
Oh,
see it
yes.
to
And
the
that,
end.
yeah, that was very, very heart wrenching. And we know the statistics, at least you do better than I, about children who are in foster care, how long it takes. But that particular case, to my amazement, was very, 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 very smooth.
Okay.
We made all of our court visits. We did all of our follow-ups, and all indications that the two young people who were siblings
Mm-hmm.
actually were able to stay together
Right.
during
Yeah.
that whole placement period.
Mm-hmm.
And the family that adopted and welcomed them was just some wonderful people, beautiful people. And so we were real happy when at some point we're going to follow up and find out how they're doing. Because we haven't talked to them since the adoption, but we suspect they're doing quite well.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Just from my brief interaction,
Yeah.
the children were definitely bonded
Oh
with
yeah.
the entire family, and
Absolutely.
it was a good day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that you have the connections through Upward
Yes.
Bound, and so that kind of led you to our organization, which I am truly blessed to have you as a
Yes.
part of as a volunteer and a board member. So you kind of explained to us what made you choose our organization. And so since you've been the board member for the past 3 years, have
Yeah.
you sat on any committees or chaired any committees?
Okay, I'm a member of the fundraising committee,
Okay.
and all of the fundraising activities that we're involved in, I tried my best to get out there and be involved.
Yeah.
From the race and guiding,
Mm-hmm.
the golf tournament, the clay shoot, the duck race. So we've been involved, and I don't consider myself a big fundraiser, but I've been fortunate to amass a network of friends, many of whom have some resources.
Right.
Yeah, so we're going to be calling on them to help us out more in the future.
Yes. Yes. It's good to have that kind of network of
Yeah.
friends.
Oh, yeah.
One day I'll have that.
Oh, you have it.
So I'm sure you maybe sit on other boards in the community.
Oh, yeah.
What are some good characteristics that you see that make out to be a good board member?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. We as a CASA Child Advocacy Services boards went yesterday to a development session on leadership, and it kind of spurred me to rethink and think about some of the reasons that I volunteer. But one of the main characteristics of somebody who volunteers, in my opinion, is someone who has not just empathy, but the resolve to help make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, some folks say that just having that intrinsic idea of making a difference is not enough,
Right.
but it has to be a starting point. You know, these volunteer positions are just that, volunteering. We don't get remunerated for them, but you know, if we can see that we're making a difference, in my opinion, that's enough pay for me. Some of the other things that I think distinguishes good volunteers
Mm-hmm.
from those who are just kind of run the mill is that they don't put themselves first. They put the services, they put the young people they're working with, they put the clients, the mission of an organization
Right.
first.
Yes.
And that will, in my opinion, take the place of anything else that you would imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because if you're going to sit on a board, you definitely need to at least be aware of what the mission
Oh
is,
yeah,
and it has to resonate with you.
sure.
And so then
Mm-hmm.
you can then spread the mission to
Oh yes.
other community members. So I think those are definitely great
Yeah.
characteristics. So 3 years, what's your favorite thing about serving on Child Advocacy Services Board?
Seeing the change,
Oh,
not
yeah.
just in the scope of services that we offer, which has
Mm-hmm.
been tremendous,
It is.
but also seeing the change in the community perception of what we do. And I'm looking forward to that becoming much more evident. Um, and I mentioned yesterday in the session that we had, the workshop session, that to us who participate, uh, we kind of understand what we do, but
Right.
we need to help the community understand clearly what we're doing and how it connects and relates to them. I've asked my church to think about becoming a sponsor or a partner with
Right.
what we're doing here in a big way. And I've had some friends I've asked to think about becoming volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah, now somebody who's been around as long as I have, you say, okay, so don't you have enough to do with your free time? No, no, I don't consider it an infraction on my time to
Exactly.
volunteer. And we meet as a board once a month. We have fundraisers and activities during the interim.
Mm-hmm.
So from my position, it's not really a big deal time wise.
Well, we are so fortunate. I'm telling you, your gym, you're spreading awareness about our mission and our cause, and we do. We need volunteers.
Oh,
There's,
absolutely.
a lot of children who are experiencing foster care
Hmm.
who need those advocates, and so just doing what you're doing, we appreciate you so very
Thank
much.
you.
So, to end this great
Yes.
interview, share with our viewers what are some things that you do like to do in your free
Oh,
time now that you're
okay.
retired?
Yeah. Well, I'm a busy person, I think. Now I like to watch Netflix, but that's only like after 10 o'clock in the
Right.
evening. It's not all day. But
Hmm.
during the day, when I'm home, I either like to cycle. I'm a bikeist. I like
Yeah.
to ride my bike
I,
throughout Statesboro.
hmm
That brings me a lot of joy.
I bet.
And travel. Uh, love traveling.
Hmm.
I was mentioning earlier, during the pandemic, we didn't get a chance to travel, my wife and I, but since the pandemic is over, we're traveling. And so we plan to travel later this summer uh, to West Africa,
Oh,
to
beautiful.
the Gambia and Senegal.
I
And
love it.
this trip will be a special trip because we're taking our 14-year-old granddaughter.
Oh, that's going to be
Yeah,
a treat for sure.
yeah, right. Right. So those are some of the things I like to do. Now, since after I retired, I did take up golf, and I enjoy watching golf.
Uh-huh.
But really haven't been out there much in the last year or so. But
Okay.
I still have my clubs and all my equipment, so I'll get back out there one day, I
That's right.
hope.
That's right. Put them to use. Put them to
Yes,
use.
absolutely.
Well, I thank you again for taking the time to do this interview and allowing our viewers and myself to get to know you a little
Yes.
better.
Uh-huh.
And I'll tell our viewers if you want to see Dr. Randy Gunter in person, we have our Pool for Kids event coming up on June 1st. It's a Saturday. Please visit our website for more details and follow us on social media to keep up with all upcoming activities with Child Advocacy Services. Thanks again for viewing. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.